Okay, so welcome to another edition of Conversations in Newmarket with Neighbur. Hey everyone, these podcasts wouldn't be possible. Certainly our podcasts in Newmarket, Aurora, Georgina around wouldn't be possible without sponsors. And we want to give a shout out to Market Brewing Company. They've been partnering with us in the Snap sense and doing music together all summer through COVID. They're certainly a COVID responsible company, but their tap room is open and now they've actually come back to life. We're happy to say that they've got lots of gigs going on from bingo. They have food trucks and food vendors. They have Thursday night comedy jams. They have Friday night music with Snapped. They have Saturday afternoon live music gigs in support of charities. So they're doing a lot of stuff right now. We want to support them and they're supporting us. So you can check out their website to stay up to date with what's going on. It's marketbrewingco.com and stay up to date with them and have fun with them. See you guys. Great. So thanks to our sponsors for making it all possible. Of course, we can't do anything without our sponsors helping us out. I realize I got my phone here. I'm going to shut it down on volume unless you guys want to hear some Bob Marley interludes. Because that's my ringtone.
You're not that popular, are you?
Yeah, I'm not popular. I subscribe to a lot of things, Jesse. So people, I just put my phone number everywhere. Anyway, but I want to welcome Jesse to the show and also Tracy to the show. Welcome you guys for being on the show.
Thanks.
Newmarket means a lot to you, I'm sure. So Tracy, you're sitting behind a protective shield. Jesse and I are really close to each other, but we've been doing some work together anyway. So welcome. And why don't you tell us about yourself? What are you up to, Tracy? And who are you?
I'm Tracy Walter. I'm president and CEO of the Newmarket Chamber of Commerce. Been in Newmarket, since I was a kid, basically. Went to school here and left at the age of 12, to move up to Muskoka. And then as soon as I could, moved back to Newmarket. And I've been here ever since.
Nice. That's nice. I never knew you kind of grew up here. I always thought you were a transplant, like maybe in the last 10 years or something like that.
No, my dad had a barber shop here. And,
wow.
Born and bred.
Nice. Mm-hmm. What's your story, Jesse?
I like this.
You like this?
Yeah.
It's kind of a cool vibe. Yeah. So
don't you have a reusable mask, Paul?
I do, but you know what the problem with my, everyone gives me masks. Like your mom gave me a mask and other people give me masks. I have a giant noggin. And so when I put my mask on, it like literally flares my ears out. So it's not a becoming look. It would probably be okay on this because they're covered, but it's not a becoming look and it really irritates me. So
I get the same thing. You get like the Prince Charles ears, right?
Yeah, the Prince Charles thing. So I really need to... I need an adjustable thing, so I've actually ordered some. So this is the only one that feels comfortable, to be honest, the cheap one. That probably doesn't do much, right? Sorry.
No, I'm sure it does. That looks like a medical mask.
Tracy's okay because she's protected with the plastic.
It's true. I can actually take this off.
No, that's like the dentist.
Yeah, take it off, and we've been socially responsible. So you're protected. You and Kamala Harris are protected with plastic shields, right?
Let's hope that reference still works when this gets posted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, their debates.
Well, it's timely
up
right now because the debate's tonight.
Yeah, so a lot of times on this show, what we want to do is talk about Newmarket, what it means to you. Sorry, Jesse, you never said who you are and what you're up to.
Jesse Ralph. I'm a stand-up comic. I work in radio, and I was running shows in Newmarket over the summer.
Yeah, so working with our sister company, Snap, we were doing comedy out of our building, and it was pretty good. You raised a lot of money for charities and comics. That was great.
Yeah, the comics especially were happy. With no gigs, it was such a tough summer for a lot of stand-up comedians.
And I think also, Tracy, I know the Chamber did a lot of pivoting on your regular activities and stuff. I mean, the show's really not supposed to be too much just COVID, but I know we certainly have to make reference to it now. We're right in the middle of it, and we probably will be for another 6 or 9 months as well anyway. But what are some of the things the Chamber did during COVID? I know you did a lot, but if you were to give me that.
The highlights?
Yeah.
I think the main thing is we just had to concentrate on all businesses. So our members certainly were our concentration, but we had to basically speak out for all businesses. It didn't matter if you're a member at this point. Every business is important to our community and to have that thriving. So If you were a restaurant, we would enable sort of an e-platform that we put in place, and we did a number of guides for restaurants and all sorts of different businesses that were open and as they opened and how they were opening and all of the different pieces to make sure that the public knew what they were doing and what was in place. So a lot of our concentration went on just trying to make sure that the businesses had an outlet and a way to get out to the community. So we did a lot of that, and obviously advocacy and policy work is what we do year round, but it's sort of been our 24-hour concentration. I definitely have a team that are running off the clock on.
And you partner. I know you partnered with the town and did a concierge service. You did gift certificates. I know in our SNAP world we did gift certificates as well. So, I mean, hats off to you guys for rolling up your sleeves and being advocates for the business and fighting for them. And sometimes, I felt even in my world that I really had to shoulder a lot of that. Like, SNAP, in the SNAP sense, we continued on. So it was really important for us to do whatever we could to ensure that other people, whether it was a mental issue or illness or strain or whatever it is, I don't want to see everyone who didn't react to it as mental, but whatever that description would be, I felt like, we're strong and still persevering, that it was important for us to kind of take that on. Now, Jesse, I always like the juxtaposition between the show because that's kind of like scary and sad a little bit, right? And yet you and I kind of got together and said, and mostly it was you. I just happen to have a building. But you said, okay, I'm going to take it upon myself to kind of reinvent some of the stuff, like comedy-wise. So tell us about that and how it came about.
Well, it was really great. Like, you had Manny doing the music shows here, and I saw that and thought, I've got to do comedy. So I called, and then I was like, could I set this up in a couple weeks? And you said, come by tomorrow. We'll talk outside, and then we can set it up. And then by the next Thursday, I had a lineup, and we had a show. The only problem is Snapped is right by like the Riverwalk Commons. So you'll sometimes get the odd drifter come up and heckle you mid-show, which is not something you're used to, but...
Yeah, it was kind of a weird thing, eh?
People getting mad at you on their bikes driving by, which, like, that's fine. People get mad, like, the outrage culture. But if it's someone not buying a ticket or not going in knowing there's going to be comedy and then hearing something offside, they're allowed to be mad, absolutely.
But it was cool, I think, like how you involved charities and, so we might not have raised millions of dollars, but I think we built awareness and, managed to raise some money for charities, and we tied it into the music thing. Then we expanded into big music thing. So I think that was like an awesome thing that we did. And I have a feeling that that's going to come back, right? Like, we're sort of hiatus, and I know we're kind of back into quasi phase 2 or whatever it is. And I have a feeling that some of that's going to come back. I know we were talking before about, some of the challenges and what's the world kind of going to look like in a couple of months. I mean, everyone's sort of talking about going back into a COVID kind of shutdown or whatever it is, right? What do you guys think about that? Do you think we're better prepared, like, for the next go-round?
I think it's already tougher just because you know that it's not an immediate fix. Like, when everything shut down, it was like, maybe I can do stand-up again in late April, early May. And then the clubs didn't really open up until like July, August, but then still so many people didn't want to go inside. So it's just tougher knowing that we've still got so much work to do, I think.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you kind of know, like, keep your bubble small, wear a mask if you're with people outside of your bubble. I think that's where it's a little bit easier, where we know how it's transmitted, or at least we think we know.
I mean,
I'm not a scientist.
I know all of us, and we're all single, generally. Not all of us. 2 of us are. Not you, Jesse. Just you and I.
I'm not married.
Yeah, but I know. So, but it's a bit of a challenge, I think, for single people, and probably maybe single people that have lost their jobs or whatever, to like push through all this. And if they're thinking, because I'm a big traveler, so I'm thinking, I can't travel for like till next fall, maybe at best case or something like that. That seems like so far away. And so, have you guys got any ideas? Let's assume we're kind of stuck in a phase 3. So there's not a big recession between now and say December or January or something like that. There's kind of we're still in that, hey, we kind of know what's going on. As you say, we wear masks and we're smart. Do you guys see any things opportunities out there that we can be doing, like making somehow Newmarket a better place during this time and even in the future? Like, I'm gonna ask you, Tracy.
So I guess there's a couple of things, because you touched on a few things, and I also want to reference the comedy shows that you had here, because I attended a number, as you may remember, and I think that was important just as a release. I mean, it was safe. We were separated, and yet we were able to enjoy stand-up comedy. And that can't be underestimated for the mental health benefits and something like that. 1, laughter, but 2, just feeling like a community still, despite that. So, I mean, it was well done, and Jesse was funny, and I mean, you can hear his voice.
Sometimes.
Oh, sometimes it was a struggle. Yeah. It's too good of a community because it was the same audience every week. By week 3, 4, I was really sweating and then just talking about what I had for lunch that day.
But you rebounded in like week 5 and you're killing it again. You're killing it all
Excellent.
the time.
Excellent. So, I mean, there's that piece. And then what can we do to make Newmarket a better place? I mean, there's so many great not-for-profits here. And, I think about the Awesome Foundation, and I know that it's a program of the Chamber, but it's actually individuals that put the money.
What do you tell us a little bit about it?
So the Awesome Foundation gives away $1,000, no strings attached, every month to an idea that will make a difference for youth in Newmarket. And really, it's easy. You just submit it online, and then the people who have put the money towards it just vote. It's all anonymous, and then at the end, there's a winner. But it's hard to get ideas right now.
Is it an entrepreneurial thing? So Jesse, if he was youthful, could come to you, and that was funny, I thought. Yeah, could he come to you and say, "This is my idea"? And it's meant to be entrepreneurial, or is it?
No,
what is the framework?
This one is to make a difference for youth. So we've done things like a buddy bench. There was, so I mean, it comes even from the schools. I mean, some of the teachers brought in ideas about bringing the curriculum to life by having, living gardens in the schools, or
cool.
Dresses for proms when girls couldn't afford it. So it's really grassroots, that particular thing. My point was more that there's just not a lot of ideas coming forward right now. We gave some money to Girls Inc. last month to help with their renovations for their new place. So it's really like up to the trustees on what they think will help make a difference for youth. And
so is there a way that potentially we could expand beyond the Chamber to stimulate the community on ideas?
Well, yeah, and I think like even just letting them know that some of these things exist, right? And helping them access them, because I'm sure there's a lot of great ideas out there, and they're not coming forward. Is that because we haven't translated it out there that enough people know about it to get the ideas flowing? But
well, I think the one thing with the Chamber, you communicate, and being a member of the Chamber, I'm getting all that information. You guys do a good job with that. But perhaps that, and I'm not suggesting that's a bad thing for you guys, but perhaps like even, running something with Snapped or something like that, or other media, or even this podcast itself could say, hey, we're open to ideas. We want to expand beyond just members knowing about it, or members' kids or something knowing about it. And so there's the opportunity, because I think those things are all awesome. I mean, you call it Awesome Foundation, right? But did you just laugh at me, Jesse? I heard like a snicker. I mean, I could see you're laughing with your eyes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I love about masks is, when someone's doing something stupid in front of you at the grocery store, you can kind of road rage under your breath. You're like, but it doesn't come out because your eyes stay the same. I had an idea actually for a food drive. You know how everyone's stocked up on like mackerel and like random fish and like I bought mackerel by accident. I thought it was going to be like tuna. Yeah.
You're the only guy I know who was actually stocked up on mackerel.
This one
I actually don't know anyone stocked up on fish
No, I was just trying to buy like canned goods when it was like March.
Canned mackerel, like salmon, like canned salmon kind of thing?
Yeah, like tuna. I accidentally bought mackerel, but I thought that
I didn't even know they sold
I
that.
did not know it was a thing, and it doesn't sound appealing. I like tuna, I like salmon.
it doesn't
mackerel?
look appealing, but I was thinking we should do like a wave 1 surplus food drive. So all the foods that, like the random like tomato and pesto pasta sauce,
Anchovies or whatever it is. Yeah.
anchovies, yeah. Just try and get all the foods that are non-perishable that you didn't like. Because there was a lot of times you were buying soups or like that you just did not enjoy.
Yeah, that might not be. I'm just being a bit critical. I don't know how big that. Have you ever, like, would you say, okay, this is a way for me to donate my can of mackerel?
Well, just so
Like,
it doesn't go to waste.
I don't know if I have anything in my house that I would say is surplus like that.
No, but I think what you're saying is people stocked up because they didn't know whether grocery stores were going to be closed, or would I go
Is
out
that
and
what
feel
you're
safe?
saying?
Yeah. So
Exactly.
he's saying
What
for
you
those
said.
people.
She's saying a better way of what you were trying to say.
That's what he meant.
She's very articulate. I am not.
I
I
have
just
to
told
keep
you
radio.
about how I was yelling at people
You're
under
on
my
radio.
mask.
You're on radio.
Yeah, that's sports. That's easy.
What's going on with sports?
Newmarket native Quentin Byfield selected second overall by the Los Angeles Kings last night.
Nice.
It's a podcast, so I'll say in the NHL draft.
In the NHL draft. Awesome.
That's awesome.
That is good. Going to LA too. If you were an athlete, and I love Connor McDavid, would you want to be in Edmonton or LA? I'm just putting it out there.
Well, Edmonton's more open than LA right now as far as COVID restrictions, so Edmonton.
Really?
And
That's
also
a good
there's that Canadian pride. So Edmonton.
There's minus 40 and plus
Yeah, you know what?
70.
Talk to me in December, and then I'd say LA every
Yeah.
day of the week, but early October.
So what do you think activities, what are cool things we could potentially be doing? We're about to go into the winter. It's, cold, it's the fall, so a lot of people like the fall, but we're not too far away. And what are some cool ideas we could potentially be doing? Have any guys thought of anything like that besides listening to awesome podcasts that come out of Buzz 505?
I was thinking I was going to buy heaters and then see if I could do outdoor comedy shows and maybe film them. Because the material from this year, like, I would like to film it just because it's such a strange year through all the political strife, social issues, COVID.
Why do them outside?
Because I think that would be cooler. You could do like a Frozen in Time, like this is what 2020 was like. Have heaters outside. And there's still a lot of people that don't want to go inside.
Oh, so you're actually with an
restaurants.
audience.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So
Just for
still do
himself.
streaming.
Stand up with no audience is just a sad
I think
podcast.
I'm being set up. The Snap parking lot's being set up here. Paul invested in some heaters. Is that
No,
maybe that's an awesome idea?
I've looked
Maybe
into
Tracy
it
could find 1,000. Oh, really?
though. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I guess there's one thing that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing, we'll call them awesome stand-up comedy at Snap with heaters, right? It sounds like it's already planned out. I've already mapped it. You've already mapped it out.
That sounds great. Before we get to Tracy's, I think we should take a break.
Okay, let's take a break.
Hey, it's Rob here at the Old Village Free House. It's great to be sponsored by this podcast. I just wanted to let you know that we do have a very large patio in the back. We have lunch and dinner specials every day, and we would love to see you while the weather's still nice on the patio.
Okay, thanks again to our sponsors. It's always good to have sponsors. Jesse, you were the guy that called the break. Where were we?
We were talking about...
I think we're talking about things you could be doing, like coming in the winter, your idea of like making me pay for all your heaters for stand-up comedy Ice Age edition.
Actually,
Winter-
that's a good call. We could use like the Ice Age squirrel for the posters.
Yeah, that's been trademarked already, and we don't want to get into that violation.
They won't search it.
Okay. So what else are we hearing about, Tracy? What's going on with Mulock Farm? I know that's a town thing, but you're wired closer to the town than, say, Jesse and I are. What are you hearing?
Well, actually, I attended a workshop yesterday, which was kind of interesting. They showed us the three concepts, which they've actually revealed on Facebook and a couple of other things. So they're actually taking feedback now from the town. There's a survey out. I don't know what the link is, but I'm pretty sure if you go to the
We
town
can
page,
post that link actually at
Yeah,
the end
okay.
on just so you know.
Underneath.
Yeah, on the podcast we have a page, and
Perfect.
people will be able to connect with you guys and book Jesse every night of the week for gigs at like $500 an hour or whatever, eh?
Perfect.
Oh, what I was gonna do is I posted this on my Facebook, and I've got a couple houses. For Thanksgiving, I'm gonna pack my PA into my car, and I've got like a converter, so I can go to other people's houses from their driveways and ruin their family's Thanksgiving.
Nice. Yeah, you're good at ruining things. I know that.
I can't
can-
ruin my own family's Thanksgiving because we're not all in the same bubble. So if this will be airing late October, if you want me to ruin your Halloween, I can do that too.
Oh, there you go. So there's time to book them.
So going back
Wide
to what you're
open.
hearing from the town, and
Oh, sorry. So
The-
one of the concepts, if you go on and look at them, one of the concepts has a skating trail, which I think is really neat. 'Cause
that is cool.
You know, a lot of times in the winter we just don't get out because we can't think of anything interesting to do, or we're like.
And I was
inside.
always surprised, even when they built Riverwalk Commons, they built that little fountain that they turned into a rink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always surprised. I mean, probably you too, Jesse. Like, I played hockey growing up. I would never skate on a little tiny thing like that.
But it's packed.
But it is packed.
Yeah.
That always shocks me.
Paul,
And yet having a like a trail
Yeah.
that's frozen,
think
like
it's neat.
sort of a la Ottawa or something, that seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Paul,
I also won't do that because now I'm just old and lazy. But
Paul, the Main Street one, it's like the perfect girlfriend idea. Like, let's freeze for 3 hours and skate around historic Newmarket.
But you're the one that, with the girlfriend, we go back to, you're bringing it back to Tracy and I being single. And like, what does that mean? I just skate around by myself?
I'd
And
hold
look
your
for you.
hand if it was.
Hey, Carly. Yeah, ditch Jesse. Here I am.
No, but you can stay physically distanced at doing that skating, so you can
That's
actually
why I'm
have a
single.
date.
It's all about physical distancing. I don't want the hassle of having to like figure stuff out. So it's better just to stay single.
You could just take a picture. I want to go skating, and then we can make it go viral. Every snapped employee and everyone else that works on other pages of yours, they would definitely share that.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
and Lily, and then that's
would
your
be it.
selling point.
Yeah.
It's the dog.
But I do think there's lots of things we could be doing in the winter. I like the idea of skating trails, and I think there's going to be people that are looking to do things. I'm even thinking of getting a drum kit, believe that or not, because we're around all this music stuff. I'm not funny like you, so I can't just, I'll become a comedian. It's like super skilled.
Yeah.
And some it just comes naturally like you, but most people have to work their butts off to become a good comic. But, I don't know. I think, what about you, Teresa? Were you thinking of anything like that? Like,
I haven't, but I'm amazed at the people who are, and I won't mention names, but a friend of mine took up ukulele lessons during this.
Name and shame.
yeah, let's hear it. Like,
No.
No?
I think it's great. I think take up anything that gives you time away from your work and
Yeah.
and your isolation or what it might be.
and I
but-
think all that stuff is better than what we were doing in March, which for me was like, I think I'll have another drink here. I did a lot of that in the first part of COVID.
I think everybody did.
I
Isn't
think
it
now-
sponsored by LCBO?
Yeah, but I think now we're looking towards, probably being more responsible health-wise, and but maybe doing things like taking courses. And I know I like going to Costa Rica, so like maybe learn Spanish or doing some things like that.
Actually,
at
I
least
would
when you
like to
come
learn Spanish,
when you
too.
come on the other side, at least you've got more skills
Paul,
than like better drinking skills or something.
I think our tolerance is just so high that we'll need like a 3-hour class to finally get drunk.
Yeah, that's probably true. It's like, I gotta have 7 more drinks to experience what I could last March.
Until you can read the tequila bottle yourself.
Yeah. What do you think the town, or like, you guys are certainly forecasting as a chamber, like, where do you think things are going to be? Like, is it a challenge? Is it a challenge, like even your organization, on fundraising and like keeping the financial wheels going? Or
Sure. I mean, you've been thanking sponsors all through this podcast. I mean, we have to thank our partners and sponsors who've helped us continue to do, because, I mean, most of them become sponsors of events and other things we haven't delivered this year, and yet they're being so supportive about continuing to support us as we, change and adjust and deliver new programs that, don't necessarily benefit them in terms of promotional opportunity, but they know it benefits the business and builds a better community. So
right, keep you going,
Yep.
keep the businesses going, keep
Yeah.
everyone going. And
but if the businesses are hurting, they're going to be thinking about every dollar they spend. I mean, we hope they'll continue to see value in the chamber, but
Yeah.
for sure, it'll be a challenge for all organizations, and we're seeing not-for-profits in general having huge challenges with fundraising.
yeah, I know even wearing our Snap hat, we're really getting involved like on a much deeper level with not-for-profit, saying, hey, we got to start thinking outside of the box. We've, with Snap, we've got augmented reality and some other technologies and things that we're up to. So it's really important for us to be leveraging those things to ensure they're going. And I think with, not-for-profits and charities is they, and this isn't a slight, or maybe it sounds like a slight actually, but the problem is I think they default to their old methods, which is putting their hand out saying, support me because we're hurting. And I think de facto, that's everyone's problem. You just identified it. Like everyone's saying, like, I've got to reinvent how I generate money. And so I had a meeting with Easter Seals yesterday, for example. And I know you've been on Dancing with the Stars, and I've been on Dancing with the Stars, and Jesse will be on Dancing with the Stars.
Yay.
He doesn't even know I signed him up.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, it's part of the whole Frozen comedy thing.
I think
Dancing
I'd need
with
to
the
go to
Stars.
rehab before Dancing with the Stars. Isn't that the course of action in a career?
Probably. I mean, there's certainly alcohol's involved with it when you get out there, right, Tracy?
Yeah.
But
The Dancing with the Stars we're talking about isn't the one with the...
yeah,
Carol
this is for
Baskin.
this is Easter Seals. So,
Oh, never mind. Sorry, Easter Seals.
but I think with one of the things I said, like instead of just asking for money, like their revenues are off like 70%. They're only generating 30% of what they used to. It's like, why don't we do like a virtual Dancing with the Stars and across Canada activate all the people that have participated? And then that ties into the TikTok stuff I was doing. You could do like these 15-second, you could even get TikTokers to lead it. So learn your TikTok, so to speak, but it's now tied into Dancing with the Stars and raise money and have literally play downs all the way down, kind of like in the NHL. And then you have it down and you have like a winner for Canada.
That's
And
a
so-
great idea.
But it's better. That's just kind of off the top of my head. But that's, to me, is much better on a bunch of fronts. One, it's checking off a box of activities people could do. To learn a 15-second TikTok maybe takes you a couple of hours. And so it gives activity to the populace. It gives fundraising initiative to Easter Seals. And it's, to me, it's more engaging than just going, give me some money.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys agree with that. And that's the kind of stuff that we're looking.
Well, yeah, people are looking for things to do. You just said, what are we going to do in the winter, right? And I think anything that keeps us entertained. I mean, I did a few of the Cachet Supper Club, their online cooking classes, and it was about being with other people and being alone in my kitchen, but I knew that there were people all across town that were also cooking with
I
me,
think
and I
what
could see
what
them.
Cachet did was an awesome idea.
Yeah, and that's an
Were you
example of
familiar
great
with what were they doing,
entrepreneurs.
Jesse? Or
Yeah, they just actually gave me an idea. I know some people are living alone, so it's tough to watch scary movies by yourself. I think it should
I've
just
been
be.
doing it.
I think it should just be like you should do like a point of view walking with your phone, and then I'll just like pop out behind things and scare you. Go or something more masculine, but but I think that would be fun for people who are usually being scared by friends during this time of year to just be scared by someone random.
with a more masculine voice.
Is that one better?
Yeah, that was better. But I mean,
Yeah.
you're the one who called attention to it. Like Tracy and I were like scared anyway. Like you were
I
scared
couldn't let
enough.
it breathe.
Yeah.
It sounded like I was a prepubescent boy trying to scare someone.
So maybe what we could do, we always look at our show to stimulate ideas, and through our show, you can email me or Jesse and Tracy. Maybe we can get the audience to say, hey, what are some great ideas? We're shifting into fall, and I think we're all conservative in the thought that it's not going to be wide open winter here for us. So maybe we can get everyone to stimulate ideas for awesome, stimulate ideas on things people can do. Now with a better understanding of how we're going to be kind of locked down, and maybe how ideas that we can share with not-for-profits on ways that they could capitalize on technology or Zoom and go-to meetings and that kind of thing. So I would encourage everyone to send us an email and let us know what you're thinking. Is there anything we're about to wrap up? Is there anything you want to add further to the conversation? Look forward to comedy in the snow, so to speak, with you, Jesse, coming up, or what have you got going on?
You know what? If we could buy just everyone in the audience snowmobile helmets,
Yeah.
I think that would work as a mask. No?
Yeah.
Paul, is that in the budget?
But don't comics, don't you need the feedback like from expression from people? Like,
Honestly,
you know you're bombing because you can see it in their face, or you know you're hitting home runs because you can hear it and see it.
the funny thing is usually like stand-up comedy clubs are very crowded, very packed, and very dark, just so nobody's judging what you're laughing at. So socially distanced was really tough at first, and then it turned out to be just there's no other entertainment on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people loved it.
Running the
anyway.
monopoly was a good thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. What about you, Tracy? Like,
I think the only other thing that I would add, because I know winter, it's cold and people don't really think about going anywhere, and we're all extra nervous because of the virus, but the businesses still need our support. So please try to get out there and support them as much as you can. And I know that some people are nervous about going into the restaurants, although they are doing a great job at keeping, the protocols in place. But, order from them, do what you can to
there might be a
support them.
revival, even Snapped. I know we did those gift certificates. There might be a revival of some of that too. That, sort of, if you're going to stay around, maybe just buy a gift certificate. Normally you would, in the normal world, you would have been going out spending that money. So now that you're eating your canned mackerel, you could actually eat that and buy a gift certificate or something and then go spend it at Cachet or, Old Village Free House or wherever is your favorite
any of
locale
them,
and in the future. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks a lot for you guys joining the show. It's been great to have you on the show. I know we're friends and we'll see each other after today. And that's been another edition. Jesse's playing footsies with me. He's trying to make me laugh. I'm not going to laugh. I don't fall for his stuff. So thanks you guys for joining the show, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.